Today we're doing a tour of the Star Wars RPG adversary deck, Republic and Separatists. So, let's start with the few clones that we have. Where are they? There we go. Let our organize this better. So, we got 3 clones in the standard minion, rival, nemesis organization. So we got a clone trooper, clone sergeant, and clone captain. And one thing I really like about this 3, these were the first 3 that I looked at, and it really gave me sort of high hopes for this in general. Because if you saw my recent Realms of Tyranoth deck guides, which you didn't, no one watched those, but if you were to watch those, you would see that I complained about how Star Wars, the adversaries just really aren't that interesting. And in Realms of Tyranoth, a lot of them really like mesh well together. Like if they're from the same race or group or whatever, they have abilities that kind of mesh well together, and even when they don't, like the abilities themselves are kind of interesting and stand out. They make the creature or person, whatever it is, kind of stand out, have some personality, you know, deriving from the game mechanics, which is nice. And we get to see that here with these cards, with the clones. I wish that would continue. And really, this is for a campaign where you wouldn't be fighting against these guys, so it's not like this is a really interesting enemy. It's more you're fighting alongside of them, so it doesn't really matter as much. The capabilities of NPC allies doesn't typically matter as much as actual enemies, so it's not that exciting. Then again, it depends on what type of campaign you're running. An all-separatist campaign against the clones, you're going to have an interesting enemy because of how they work together. Basically, the clone ship makes it easier for them to follow orders, so you get a buff when you're ordering them around, which I guess is kind of helpful if you're a leadership type character or whoever. If you're doing like the squad rules or squadron rules from the Age of Rebellion GM screen, or one of these books also just has those rules right in them. The Collapse or Rise of the Separatists, right? Probably Rise of the Separatists, Republic and Separatists. That's what this is from, right? If you're using the squad rules to order the clone troopers around, you'll get some benefit there. I'm spending way too much time on these freaking clones. Also, they can order each other around better, which makes them for kind of an interesting enemy. Let's move on to the droids, because that's mostly what we got here. We got the buzz droids from episode 3, where they were on the ship and they were with their tools trying to break it apart. It's cool because they're pretty weak. Their weapon really isn't that impressive, but they have a special ability, which we don't see quite often enough in this deck, but we do see a few special abilities which make the characters stand out, where they're far more effective against vehicles and ships and the like, so that's cool. We got another small droid which has a very interesting ability. So these are probe droids, like I guess the kind that Darth Maul sent out in episode 1, and they have a micro grenade launcher to help prevent them from being captured and found out. A micro grenade launcher, that's insane. Also, they're pretty stealthy and they're good at perceiving things. Droidica, so I always loved these are one of my favorite aspects, one of the coolest things to come out of the prequels. Darth Maul. And the abilities they gave them do not disappoint. They have one special attack where it attacks multiple people. Sort of, kind of reminds me of like if Blast and Autofire had a baby, but also different. It's cool. They have a really cool spray and pray kind of ability. It's awesome. And their weapons, just the base weapons themselves, are really powerful. They have the shield, which doesn't work all the time. It doesn't work when they move, but it makes them more defensive. What it is lacking, though, which really, really bothers me, I would love to have had the 2 modes, like the really fast tumbly mode, and then they have to like do an action or whatever to get into their turret mode kind of thing. But they don't have anything like that. That's kind of dumb. But still, they put a lot of effort into making the Droidica feel like Droidica, which is great. We don't get quite enough of that. Speaking in terms of a droid feeling like how it should, and by that I mean the opposite, the B2 Super Battle Droid. I don't remember playing Republic Commando. These things were beasts, right? It took forever to bring them down, right? Isn't that aren't they supposed to be tough? Good enough weapon, integrated wrist weapon. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good weapon. But they're minions. They're a minion group. That does not... No, they should at least be a rival. No, rival is good. They should be a rival, and that's it. They should be... I don't... That's dumb. Why are they not a rival? They should be a rival. B1 Battle Droid. Minions, obviously. They should be minions. They appear to be equipped with the standard blaster rifle, or close to it, I think, and not the specific E5 carbine, which is in the Ace's source book, which is the actual... Like this thing. This actual thing. That's statted in the Ace's source book. Why not just bring that in here? Just... It's dumb. They should just bring it in here. I mean, it kind of sucked. Still though, just bring it in here. Just have them equipped with the actual thing. I've already paid for it. Why not use the... What's another thing to annoy me? The GEONOSIAN warriors. That's all we get. They're a minion group. The GEONOSIAN warriors. They have a fun sonic weapon and they can fly, which is a nice change up as far as minion groups go. But they're a minion group. No rival type sergeant character GEONOSIAN to pair with a couple minion groups or anything like that. They're just, that's it. Are we gonna get more GEONOSIANs in the other deck? I know there's another deck for Collapse. This one's for Rise, so maybe we'll get more GEONOSIANs. I don't know. I haven't even looked at the adversary section. We got a spider droid, which is sort of a big walking tank with a massive weapon, the type that you really want to like sneak up on and like hit from behind. Although they're actually really hard to sneak up on, so good luck with that. They'll be fun to unleash on players. Ooh, the IG-100 Magna Guard, known for their duel with Obi-Wan and Anakin in Revenge of the Sith. The opening, they were fighting on the bridge, right? These guys, they can stand up to lightsaber combat because their weapon is all special and whatnot. And yeah, they're fairly tough fighters. They also have a cool special ability where they can just sort of grab you and hold you, and so make you vulnerable to the other person. Make sure they attack in pairs at least. That way you can make the most of their special ability. This was disappointing. The Saboteur droid. I would have thought they would have like sort of a bigger, beefier version of the Buzz droids. We are better at dealing with vehicles ability. Saboteur, like it feels like that's what they would be good at. No, they're just kind of a stealthy special forces type of battle droid. They have an okay weapon. It doesn't really feel like a special forces kind of a weapon, but they're stealthier and they're rivals, so they're better than your basic battle droid. That's it. Don't quite live up to the name as far as I'm concerned. One thing that does live up to the name, the T-Series Tactical Droid, which is in here. They have a couple different abilities. Actually, some of my favorite abilities. Not quite the Supreme version, but the improved version of Inspiring Rhetoric and Scathing Tirade, which is fun to unleash on your players, and also some other stuff. They got other stuff. They're a powerful droid leader. Throw in a couple other droids of various types. You can have a great, big, awesome encounter they have to deal with. Before we move on to the named characters, let's talk about disappointment. So this deck already has been filled with some disappointment, but this one really takes the cake. You remember my Republic Fleet Officer from Rise of the Separatist? That's the one. Yeah, from Rise of the Separatist, the Republic Fleet Officer specialization. Well, look at this. Republic Fleet Officer. It's exactly what it is. It's a card. Republic Fleet Officer. Perfect, I thought. Perfect. A perfect place to put those special ship leader focused specialized talents. Really put them to good use in an NPC. Not a full-blown character, but in an NPC. It makes perfect sense to have them there. And it'd be especially fun to, deal with them as an enemy, because they have the special... I don't remember what the talents were, but there were special talents that dealt with leading ships or something like that. Nothing. They get nothing. They get adversary. That's it. That's par for the course with the rival or above. It's... Galactic Senator, they're a talker person. That's it. They're a really good talker, and not just because of their dice pools, so they have an ability or two, which is kind of interesting. But still, they're just a talker. Okay, let's move on to the named characters. We have Padme, Amidala, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Count Dooku, asajj, ventress, and General Grievous. Kind of wish we had more Republic people, but this whole thing is sort of built with the idea of you're going to be playing against droids, most likely. That's mostly what people want to play as. So that's why in the Rebels and Imperials adversary deck, there's more Imperials to deal with. Anyway, let's start with Grievous. As you might expect, he's got multiple arms, so he has the multiple limbs talent where you get an extra maneuver. And he's just a really tough fighter. Not much else to say beyond that. But yeah, a really, really tough fighter. And that's what I would say for most of the others. These people have the Force, of course, on top of their being good fighters with lightsabers. A couple different powers listed that they can use. Padme has one of the more interesting abilities. She can actually spend a destiny point to be really good at sensing other people and be better in talking situations because of it. Something that really only comes up if you're in opposition to Padme, whatever, it doesn't matter. She's a stupid character anyway. Weirdly enough, the champion main hero characters from the movies are probably the least interesting to actually talk about. Are they really tough? That's all you really care about. Yes, they're really tough. All right, that's it. That's all we're doing. I just wanted to show you what you have available in this particular product if it's the right thing for you. Speaking of buying the right thing for you, I got an Amazon store. You can go to my Amazon store, and it doesn't really help you at all, but if you click on the link in the description of a video to my Amazon store, then you buy stuff. Really, if you buy anything on Amazon after you click the link for, like, I don't know however long it is, but I get credit for that, so that's good. I get money. That's it. It doesn't help you at all, but it helps the channel, and I can buy more stuff to talk about, which you guys seem to like. Tomorrow we're doing Daily December. Every day a new video for all December, so see you then.